Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Edgardo Sanabria Valentina. I'm the Associate Director of the Program for Research Initiatives in Science and Math here at John Jay. Welcome to our first Career Connections event of the fall of 2025. The series of events brings back John Jay alumni that have majored in any of our 5 science or math majors, that is computer science, applied math, forensic science, toxicology, or cell and molecular biology, to discuss the career paths with our students. We do all of this online. They're all virtual and accessible to everyone. We record them when possible so that we can have a record of them and so you can potentially view them afterwards. Right now, this event is also being run together with the series, the 2025 Exploration of Your Future Self career panels that the Student Academic Success Program has put together for undergraduate foundations. So I welcome any of our freshmen coming in from any of the majors at the college and that have joined us today. Today's event, as I mentioned, is part of our Career Connection series, which we run every semester. And today's topic is John Jay STEM alumni that are pursuing careers related to their majors. We're going to have 3 alumni joining us. First one is Andrew Candia. Andrew is an analytical science lab technician at Sanofi Pasteur. Second student is Ayesha Akhter, who graduated in 2022 from computer science, and she's a data scientist at atOasys. And the third one is Jamoul, a CMB graduate from the 2024, who works as a research assistant at Columbia University. That said, I'd like to welcome all 3 of you. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go first over a few questions, sort of this, to talk about your career paths, your experience at John Jay, and how you leverage that experience in your career. And then we're gonna move on to questions from the audience. We have by now 33 John Jay undergrads here, and we're expecting a lot more to join us over time. So before we start, I want you guys to introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your time here at John Jay, and also a brief explanation of what is your job and what do you do on a day-to-day basis. What does your job title mean, and what do you actually do? Let's start with Andrew.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Ed. So, hi everyone. I'm Andrew. So, like you said before, I graduated John Jay in 2021. So, a little transition after pandemic, but still a little bit pandemic-esque. So I graduated with forensic toxicology. I came in John Jay knowing that I wanted to do forensic science, and I think my career path was more on the line towards doing, I think, the more biology route. I found out I didn't like biology. I ended up going towards the toxicology route. I ended up loving toxicology. I then ended up afterwards going toward Michigan State University for my graduate degree in chemistry. I think some things which maybe we'll get into later. I ended up just going for my master's, but it was in nuclear chemistry. And then afterwards, I started working at Sanofi Pasteur. So my job title is that I'm a lab technician. So what I do on a day-to-day basis is mostly I am a analytical scientist. So a lot of lab techniques that I'm sure a lot of people are very much used to, where it's like, you will do pipetting, you do math, you do a lot of the hoorah rumrah. And I work with a lot of different instrumental techniques, so such as, NMR, ICP. I'm being trained also on SDS page. So I get to work with a lot of different instrumental techniques to analyze a lot of different. I'm mostly tasked with doing a lot of drug products or different vaccine samples that we want to check for like the purity before they actually get released on the market. So I think that should be mostly everything. Ed can correct me if I missed anything since I was the guinea pig of this group right now.
No,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That's great. And nuclear chemistry, I'm gonna ask you more about that later. I haven't had a chance to catch up with you since you graduated, so. Okay, let's continue with Danny. Danny, why don't you take it up?
Oh, hi. I think I'm the most recent of the graduates. I graduated last May in 2024. I initially, different than Andrew, joined to become I was pre-law. I wanted to do the law path, and then COVID hit and I switched to CMB. So that was a complete opposite of what I wanted to do with my life. And I graduated in 2024. I was part of PRISM, and now I am a research assistant at Columbia University. Actually, I have three technically job titles. I'm a research assistant, clinical research coordinator, and I'm a lab technician in like two different areas. So my job daily entails completing experiments, analysis, writing manuscripts, making sure our clinical studies are going smoothly, and making sure the lab runs. Very
Thank you, Danny.
summary.
Aisha?
Thank you so much. Hi everyone. So this is Ayesha Akhter. So from the if I start from the beginning, I wanted to do something really in math and science, but I was not sure when I started my undergrad. But by the time when I was like a PRISM undergrad researcher, that time those work helped me a lot to find out like what actually I wanna be and what I'm doing right now. That is my as a data scientist. So I'm working as a data scientist at Oasis, which is a remote job, and it's a basically Dubai based. So like as a data scientist, what I do basically I lead the data mining efforts and building a massive real estate database, integrating production data to workflows, and the development of real estate virtual agents, basically utilizing the latest LLM technology. And beside that, I am doing my master's, a Master of Information and Data Science at University of California. And I started in this fall, and the reason is doing masters right now because I think this master's degree will give me like more value to to reach my to see my data scientist in more accurately. So yeah, that's why here I am today.
Thank you, Aisha. Okay, so I'm gonna ask something that I noticed that was something that I noticed between your three stories was that from beginning to end of your under time at John Jay and your undergraduate, your path changed. You were thinking about something, but by the time that you finish, that might not be different. So I want to ask you about that and take your time, think about it. Tell us about that process. What led to that change? What was that learning that you had that you said, no, you know what? This is what I'm meant to do. What was that experience like? Tell us about what did you feel at that moment, which I'm assuming was scary at some point, and also uh, uh, how how did it change over time? How did those changes come about? What specifically caused those changes? And if you learn anything by doing those changes, feel free to share it with our audience. Let's start with Danny.
Yeah, so I think going into I got in 2019 into college, so it was a very, very long time ago, at least in my years. Initially I was motivated because I'm Syrian, and in 2016 growing up, Trump had like the ban on Syrians. I was like, hey, let's do immigration. So a lot of my younger years and experiencing what happened shaped my entry into college. But then as I came in and I took some of the preliminary classes, I realized that it wasn't something I was having fun with. And I've never been the type of person to continue on a path that I've never really enjoyed. So when COVID happened, I thought it was a great opportunity to switch into the CMB major and just to start understanding something that I was really misinformed in biology. I've never taken like a biology course. Even in high school, I was like horrible at it. So I decided, why not? We have the opportunity. John Jay, honestly, pretty good, has some good classes, so might as well take it. Loved it. I decided to switch. But even then, as I moved forward, I always I always did internships and put myself in position to understand if this was the right path for me. and even went out of my comfort zone, which I think is really important as a person to always put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Do things that you may necessarily think you might not like because they might actually end up impacting your choices. And so, even to confirm the fact that I really didn't want to do law or political science, I did an internship at the UN at one point with the Syrian embassy and hated it. That was like the nail in the coffin for me. And then through Prism, I did research, I did internships outside of Prism at John Jay. And that's where I started liking, like, hey, I really like this. I really want to pursue something in biology, something in medicine, and that has really shaped my life in the last 4 or 5 years.
That's excellent. And I didn't know about that. I didn't know that you were planning to be pre-law.
Yeah, my first year.
That is interesting. That is a big turn and a big turn based on, as you said, you don't know what you like until you do it,
Yeah.
because sometimes our expectations don't meet reality. Ayesha, why don't you take it next? So the question was about that shift on your at the beginning from where you thought you were going to be to where did you land that you knew is where you were supposed to be.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, I had the turn in my profession. That's true. So basically, I wanted to do something on science, math, and science. That's true. But in the very beginning, in my associate degree, I wanted to go to math school. But when I started my associate at LaGuardia Community College, so I found I like a little bit struggling to as a first, fresh like a first generation, so it was tough for me to continue study and livelihood and everything. So then one of my advisor, like academic advisor, suggested me, okay, why you just don't explore the math and liberal arts, math and science, and let's see what you really like and what you can really do. So from that point, I started math and science and John Jay, I started all those like computer science related subjects, and I really like this one than the math background, like a medical school, all those stuff. So obviously, like I would say that changed. Like now today, I am okay. I'm fine. Like I'm though I have different path. I wanted to different, but through the experience and like development and skills, I'm perfectly fine. And what I wanted to be, I think I'm now that I'm doing. And of course, like side internship or undergrad research, that also helped me to shape my like career path and to shape by what I really want to do. For example, I also was a like a tech talent pipeline student. So I was in the boot camp. Right after my that boot camp, I started to job like I started a work as a software engineer, but I didn't like it. But I like the data science, and I got that interest from my undergrad research. So yeah, like I would say like we never know what we really actually like, and by time, by experience, by working, like by time we know like what actually we want to be. So right now I'm perfectly fine in my career, and this is the thing that I really wanted to be, though I didn't know in the beginning. Yeah.
That's excellent, Ajisha. I'm glad. I want to go back to you a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit through all three, but I want you to tell us a little bit more about your job in a bit. So, Andrew.
Yep. So, I think mine's been, I guess, very similar to most of how both Danny and Ayesha have kind of explained similarly. I came from high school, like knowing I wanted to do forensic science. Like one of the things that we did a lot in high school was that we would do we would watch forensic files. We would have like this little quiz, but it's like kind of just seeing it and made me think that's like, man, I want to just do that, do the cool stuff that I was doing. And then kind of coming in there, I kind of had this expectation set on myself because I knew also I was not really a big fan of chemistry. I hated it to a T. And I felt that it was probably would be one of the harder points. Like there were a lot of points where it's like, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I should just like oh, just like quickly like do an easier major, or like just with all the credits that I did, like swap to another major. But I think I kept going at it knowing that it was very much possible, but also still knowing much more with my learning more about myself through it. So as I was kind of going through the program, I slowly, especially, well, this actually must happen in my first year, where I kind of realized I'm a math person, and I'm realizing a lot of the biology I was doing didn't really meet what I actually was good at, you know? And it's like I didn't want to also force myself to do something that I knew I wasn't gonna, not necessarily I couldn't do it. I mean, certainly it's like I could have like gone down like the biology path, but it's definitely something that didn't match my skill set, and it's something that I don't think me personally, like, no offense, Ed, but I wouldn't enjoy. So I decided to go towards the chemistry route because they were doing a lot more. Oh, there was a lot more on the mathematical side. You know, it's like I probably everyone here is gonna think I'm crazy. It's like, yes, I enjoyed doing calculus. I didn't mind doing all of that. Yeah, sure. Like, ignore the crazy weirdo right here. But you know, it was where I was actually starting to see myself. Like I was finding satisfaction in what I was doing, and it was slowly getting through like each year, like that. Yeah, this is kind of. I feel like I can do this, and also like I don't mind this. You know, I'm kind of liking what I'm doing. And then sooner or later, I kind of found it's like I met. Well, I don't know if Dr. Carpi is still here. Oh, he's still here. Yeah. So I ended up meeting Dr. Carpi, and it's like it's kind of a very similar thing where it's like a lot of the work that sometimes these people do. It's like there's a very big map, these big macro projects. And it's like, oh, it's like maybe there's this one project that it's like I know he was big on doing like like soil research in Mercury. It was still very much on the bio side. So then I kind of explained to him my interest, and then we kind of worked on a project where I was looking at mercury in cat food. So it's more just, I guess, my journey throughout all of this has just been it things can 100% change. And I definitely know, at least from experience, that it's always just maybe it's at the flip of a dime. Maybe it's like one day it's like things will be going like exactly like as an upward, like what is it? Like a straight upward, like exponential growth, but then all of a sudden it's like shoots right down. But I think for the most part, it's this, especially the PRISM program. It's like it was very good in at least helping me, like guide me at least on the side throughout a lot of those different choices about whether or not like, because I think my biggest fear was just if I didn't make it through, what was I gonna do? Like I needed a job, I needed to actually like do something in the world, and it's like it wasn't just about me running away, but it was more like still trying to meet what I knew I did best, and then just trying to work out a path that then actually worked for me. And so eventually led me into MSU, which then eventually led to where I'm at right now. So yay, Prism.
Hold on, I did that wrong. Ayesha, I'm gonna be a little bit selfish here. Particularly because, as you know, and as Andrew mentioned, I'm a biologist, and I'm always learning and relearning what it means to be a computer scientist. I famously know how to email, how to use spreadsheets, how to look at videos on YouTube and the New York Times app. That's it. That's my techie, as much as I can do. So tell me a little bit more about your day to day. What do you do in the field as an analyst in the field that you work in? And also tell us a little bit about the company that you work for.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I started work as a software engineer where I started to do all those development of apps, basically mobile apps, and one of the iOS app that is the Blackout Lightning Console. So I 1 year I worked there right after my boot camp, but in the meantime I finished my like a PRISM undergrad research with Professor Muad Obaidat. So it was my intrusion detection system. So that knowledge really was attract me more about the machine learning, all those analytical skill development and creating models. So from that point, after my internship, at Quadrant 2 as a software engineer. I got the offer to work as a full-time as a software engineer. But as my interest in the data science, so I got another offer also, like to work as a data scientist. And then I switched like in July 2023, at Oasis. So basically, Oasis is a startup company that is we are working to create a virtual assistant that is Dubai based. So we do the data mine. We do the data mine and then building our massive real estate database. So from there, we produce the data into workflow, and basically we develop the real estate virtual agent. For example, in New York, we have the Zillow. So this Dubai-based Oasis, that kind of similar, but that is not in New York based or not in the United States of America. So we are working on that. And for like as my task, so I do the data collection and I do the pre-processing, and then model set like a model selection. Then I do model training and then model validation, and finally I try to make a model deployment. So that helps to improve that virtual real estate agent. So as a scientist, I do that and with the other engineers, and I work as a remotely from home. So we have other engineers. So it's not a big company, but it's something that I really like to do, as a data scientist. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. That's great. Okay, so again, something that I really liked about your stories at the beginning and that I noticed was that you've all have gotten to learn through experience and learn about what you like and learn about what you don't like, in particular, especially by doing. So taking that, we know that that has been instrumental. Has there been any other experience more related to your academics, more related to the classroom, more related to the usual day-to-day of a student that has impacted the path that you have taken, be that a particular technical skill or a soft skill that you learned, or an interaction or experience not necessarily related to your academics? Has there been something like that that you think other students should pay more attention to, and that I'm glad that you paid attention to? Andrew, why don't you go first?
Ooh, that's well, I guess I go first, but it's like thinking, I guess, for a little bit. I guess something that I learned from I mean, there are definitely like few things that I could even like think about, for example, I could say that like, oh, that it's like I still like sometimes use like what's it called? The conversion factors, or it's like, oh, and this is also no shot, where it's like sometimes where I'm measuring out like some stuff from like cooking, it's like I'll sometimes do like what was it, dimensional analysis, where it's like I need to figure out, it's like I'm not making like 3 cups of like noodles, so it's like now I need to make 2 cups, so now I need to convert like this and that. So I would say though the one that probably impacted me like as more of a student is just more probably when I was, I think, still a freshman. I would say around this time. So I graduated John Jay. Also, I don't think that was also something that was disclosed, but like I also had a minor in theater. So while I was at John Jay, I was doing both forensic science and I was doing theater. It was for a lot of what I was doing, it seemed like I was trying to do as much as I could, similar to how I kind of was in high school, where it's like a lot of opportunities that presented itself, I kind of just wanted to do. It was at a point though where it's like, I think going through it, that then, and I kind of think I do remember it a little bit. It was where a day where, unironically, somebody made a death threat on me. Like, what was it, during one of the shows where it kind of just happened, where it was, I think a lot of pressure was happening, a lot of clear heads were not happening. And then I remember sitting down and just thinking, this is a lot. And then kind of after that, I remember that also it was, I think, Bio 104, where at like the next time I kind of thought back to that moment where it's a lot. And I think just that's kind of, I think the biggest takeaway was just sometimes there's the idea of just too much. Maybe, I mean, some people, it's like, I don't want to say like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do all of that. But I kind of was learning more, as I kind of said when I was speaking before, where I was learning a lot about myself. And one of the biggest things, I guess, as the student was just learning that maybe there is such a thing as too much and that maybe I should do what is at least best for me to manage. Sometimes you want to do every little thing or you want to try a little at everything, but also at the same time, sometimes I have to compromise that. Like sometimes I will not get everything that I want to do. I will not always get to be, I was not able to get to do theater again until I was in senior year where things started to die down. I wanted to still do it during my sophomore and junior year, but I kind of compromised that for right now. I know I want to still go into forensics. So I have to put that as my priority. And if I have to make those compromises, then so be it. So I put that as my priority. And I guess kind of the rest was just history, where it's like I definitely knew that like I was able to manage a lot more of my time. I definitely knew that I was actually able to put a lot more effort into like my classes, into like, studying, or like even into like I also worked as like a tutor. I also kind of like was trying to do internships here and there. Like I knew things that I knew was important to my forensics career, though they weren't necessarily important to my other interests, particularly my minor in theater. So sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, but at the very least, you know that it's something that you can definitely manage. And sometimes you have to take the little victories where they can. And sometimes you never know. Things will sometimes work itself out. I mean, I still got my minor in theater. I'm also, I didn't mention it before, I'm also working still in theater now too. I'm with Lehigh Murder Club. So it comes full circle. Who knows? But as a student, you learn as you go. I guess that's the best way to say it. You learn as you go. I think you muted Ed.
You adapt as you go too. Okay, Aisha. So we're talking about other academic or maybe not necessarily relatable skills that are directly related to your career that you gain or and that guided you to where you are and you're still using.
All right, thank you so much. So I would say, of course, some like an experience, like as a technical student, the experience and the skill is very important. So I work as a peer mentor, peer leader in like a Lagodia and at John Jay also, and as research assistant also. So I would say like those experience, like leadership experience, really helped me a lot to be where I am today. And besides, like the capstone project in my computer science, the capstone project and those experience based working, those really helped to know, okay, for what I really want to be or what I need to gather or information. Like and this in my at John Jay in my academic year, the uh, all those 2 years that helps me to build my solid foundation in programming, algorithms, and data structure. So those are academic. But besides that, if you do work, if you do really small something related to your what you want to be, that really helpful. That helped me a lot, especially this PRISM undergrad research, because this is a hand-on experience that helped me a lot. You mute.
Donnie? Okay, I'm gonna just keep myself on.
So I realized throughout my college career, there's two types of foundations I needed to learn. One is learning and then application. And at John Jay, not only did I get a really good background in learning with great professors in my major, but it was programs like PRISM and working in a lab in Dr. Gloria Proni's lab where I was able to apply. And thinking back to it now, a lot of what I do is applying basically many, many different fields that I learned, which is really daunting sometimes because you have to like you think to yourself, oh my God, I'm taking like 5 or 6 classes. It's actually like 3 or 4 classes, and they're all very different. How am I going to keep up? And then you end up learning that you have to learn it, sure, but if you put yourself in positions to apply it, to grasp the knowledge and the foundation of it, it's much easier when later on, because at least where I'm at, I'm applying everything that I learned in undergrad, I'm still applying to this day. And it's not maybe the necessarily the small details, but it's the way I think, the way that I had to learn in class, adapt to my learning structure. And it's just thinking is really what gets you that far in life, at least where I'm coming from. So I think just doing learning is important, and the classes I took that were really important, like the capstone course, I think was one of the most important courses I took in my undergraduate years. But it was the Prism, like working in a lab under Prism and then doing internships. Those are the ones that really helped me. So now in my field, I'm always applying what I learned, and I'm not nervous. I think a lot of the times when we do something new or something that we want to do, a little like dream of ours. We want it to be perfect, which is incorrect. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect in life, but you don't want to be nervous. You want to be calm. You want to understand, like, hey, even if I didn't learn this, I have the techniques to learn and to apply. And just having that mentality takes you very, very far in life.
Thanks, Danny. So two things I heard: one, leadership skills and leadership experiences, because you don't know those are soft skills that you use. That you don't know how you're gonna be applying to. The other one, boundaries, being able to determine what can you handle and do it well, and what is needed right now, and being able to establish those boundaries. I think those are great skills to develop as we're while you're in an undergraduate, before you go out there and the real responsibilities, additional serious responsibilities to pay for the bills come in. Okay, so I'm going to then switch to the more, again, back to the more detail about your current careers. And this one is, can you share with us one skill that you developed in college that you still use today? Let's start with Ayesha.
All right. So of course the leadership skill I would say, because like I was freshman, I was student as usual like other student. From that point in my college discovery program, that is the like a assisting program in at Laguria College. From there, like I there are 20 students that I had to help them to be to be comfortable with the new environment of this college. So from that point, I understand, okay, there is something else that I can develop in me, that's a leading, leading others, and to gain my knowledge and to be more perfect in my position. So I was a student, and also I helped other students. So I did the same at John Jay with the SEEK program as a peer mentor. And uh, in my job, as I started as a software engineer, so there also we were like 12, 12 interns. So out of them, I tried to lead them, because all those leadership experience that I grew in my college or in my academic time, that helped me to lead the our small team at in my internship period at a Quadrant School. So I would say, of course, that leadership skill I gathered, I grew, and still now, as I am working as a data scientist, I don't feel discomfort to lead the way, or to lead my small community, or to lead my small team. Um, that is really important. Like if you have any chance as student, you should you should get all those knowledge, all those outcome that you can gather in yourself. So obviously the leadership skill, I would say, that really helped me since beginning until today.
Excellent. I love that answer. Danny?
I think communication and being able to communicate was one of the biggest foundations that John Jay taught me, especially with someone who it was a really weak skill for me. Um, I did start the pre-health program at one point, or I tried. So communicating with like all the different sectors of John Jay to bring it about, communicating with my professor, whether it's Dr. Peroni or Dr. Ed right here, and trying to get my point across on what exactly I need. I think efficient communication gets you what you want without having to really muddy the waters. And John Jay put me in a position to always try to learn how to effectively get my word across, basically as short as possible, but as efficiently as possible.
How about you, Andrew? Skill that you developed in college that you still use every day?
I'm gonna probably cheat a little bit, and I'm just gonna probably say two of them, ironically. So the one that I want to say, like maybe not like one that's more career focused, and one that is a bit more like just general focus, I guess more appropriate to your question. The one that's a bit more career focused is, I guess, one or I guess it's also both of them are general. One is open-mindedness, so being, I guess, willing to just sometimes go out of your comfort zone to do something that maybe you're not good at, or maybe that like you want to learn a little bit more about, but you're just not sure. So like right now in particular, like I did NMR, I did ICP in like college, but I had never like I'm learning how to do SDS page. I had never learned like how to do anything like that. But sometimes you just say like, yeah, sure. It's like because you want to always just kind of be a little bit. It's a lot of opportunities to learn something more, and a lot of opportunities to just kind of build, I guess, this skill set. Something that both you can handle and both that adds a lot more repertoire. Back in college, I definitely remember it's like I knew nothing when I was with Dr. Carpi. It's like I knew nothing about mercury, like I knew nothing about ICP, but I think it was like, at no point though did I say I have like, this was maybe like, I don't want to do this, or like, no, this is like, or like, no, I don't want to do this. And that's kind of because everyone was very much making sure that like, you knew that like, okay, here's like what you maybe like, if you really don't know something, I asked it. I tended to ask a lot of questions. I sometimes asked the same questions over and over again. It got annoying, but it didn't sway me away from those topics. And it's like, it's what still has allowed me to kind of just still participate, like do ICP. It's like, it's why like I'm still most comfortable when I got into this new job and what got me hired, because of my experience in ICP. And then the same thing as well. It's what also got me hired, because during my interview, I said that it's like, yeah, like I'm very open. Like I know that there was a big, strong, like need for an NMR scientist. And I said that I kind of did NMR a bit, but I don't mind trying to learn more about it. And they gave me the job for it. So I would say that that was one. And the other big one, which is I know one that probably has been I know Ed has mentioned it before, that like, it's also like mentors mentioned it before, but it's one that it really feels like once you experience it, it really like becomes a lesson for you to kind of see for yourself. It is dealing with failure. It's like sometimes the thing that doesn't always work out, and you're going to probably see it over and over and over again. Like I'm sure everyone here has done an experiment and it hasn't gone well. I'm sure that it's like in class, it's probably the worst feeling in the world, because guess what? That means then you get like below a 60, or like there goes like your grade for that one experiment. But at the same time, it's also very much a very big learning lesson, because I remember doing that a lot in my lab with Dr. Carpi. It's like where I remember doing sometimes like 10 experiments for the same exact sample, because it just didn't want to cooperate. Sometimes things just work out like that, but it's important that you didn't stop. Yes, you're going to encounter that failure, but you still kind of keep going. And if you don't, it's sometimes also maybe you stop and think, what is going wrong? Like, is it just genuinely that like, this is just so funky that like, I just need to keep doing it? Or is it something that like, yeah, maybe we need to kind of go back to the drawing board, and that maybe we need to change what we're doing? Like right now I have been doing that a lot, where it's like, I have like, a drug sample that's come in and I'm testing it. They need results in by the end of the week. They're a bit upset because guess what? I did not get a result that worked out. But at the end of the day, it just happens. It just, this stuff kind of happens, but it's also something that you really shouldn't blame yourself for. It's just something that will happen, but it's something that is good that it does happen. So you're always prepared for when it may happen.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so we have already a few questions that were sent to me on the chat, but I want to give an opportunity to people to talk to you, to interact with you. So if we have anyone present in the room that has a question for our speakers, you just have to go to the React button and click raise your hand, and I will call you. While that, just raise your hand, and once we get to you, we'll get your name. You can ask your question. While people get set up to ask their questions, I have the last question here. What is a misconception about your field or profession that you like students to know? Danny.
I don't think I mentioned it in the beginning, but or at least what I want to do with my career, I want to apply to MD PhD programs, and it's very unique. Not like I didn't hear about this till like 2, 3 years ago, right? One big misconception to anything in medicine or the science field is you have to compete. You have to always be the best or strive to be number one. And yes, competition is great, but just have fun. You're gonna get to where you want to get to. I promise you, you're gonna get to where you want to get to. But don't be or don't give yourself a checklist or put yourself in a box. You're your own unique person. You should find what motivates you to get out. Because if you're forced to get out of bed every morning and be like, I have to do this or that so I can get to my goal, you are going to be miserable. Do whatever it is you have fun. Comparison is the theft of joy. Do not compare yourself to your friend or to the person that you see. Like, sometimes we look at our mentors, we're like, I want to be like exactly like this person who got to where I want to be. No, you don't. You don't want to be a copy paste of them. You should look up to them, look at what they did, but you should do things your own way, whatever works for you. And I promise you, you will get to where you want to be. It always works out at the very end. Just be yourself, have fun, enjoy the ride, enjoy taking these classes as miserable as it was for all of us. Enjoy it. You will get to where you want to be and just have fun with people. Your classmates are your best resources. Your professors are your best resources. Just have fun.
Thank you, Danny. Ayesha?
Okay, I agree with Danny. The like whatever you are doing, if you don't like, it will be miserable. You will not get the great outcome. So of course, like as a technical student and as a tech student, so the coding, it was really like hard for me in the beginning. And I started to learn, I started to have fun. Even I started to like I learned coding with games, like playing games, and then that helps me be to be proficient and experienced in this coding. So of course, I would say whatever you like, you have to put efforts. You have to have your like own interest. Once you enjoy the task, it's easy like water. It's really easy like water. So, like in the beginning, when I started, of course, I also found it really difficult. I cannot do it. But once I started to enjoy it, I started to put more effort. And obviously, a lot of tutors at John Jay helped me out because I was zero in coding knowledge. So the tutors helped me, my mentors helped me. So that way, and also creating the networks and connections. Without network and connections in my like in tech field is really hard. The output, the overall output have to be come from me, but I have to learn it and I have to like without learn or without real knowledge, there is nothing in the tech field. So it will be a little hard, but once you get the interest, once you enjoy the task, it is easy. So obviously, yeah.
Okay, Andrew, how about you?
Thank you. So I also agree with Aisha and Danny, but rather than also just kind of belaborating the same point also, and I mean, I still want to say that it's like, yeah, it's important that like you enjoy what you're doing. I'd also like to kind of get tied into a bit of one I think that is a misconception, which is just you need to do this, you need to do that in order to exactly get where you want to go. And sometimes that's true, but I think don't always assume that it's like that, or don't always let that be the reason why you shouldn't at least try something. So best example was while I was at John Jay. It's like I remember well, Ed, you can probably correct me because I don't remember this, but it's like to get into a lot of graduate schools, you need I forget what is it, the test, the standardized test that you would need to take.
The GRE.
Yes, the GRE. Guess what? I got into MSU graduate school for chemistry. I didn't take the GRE. This was probably one of my biggest fears. I was afraid of the GRE. It was probably one of the things that it's like, I didn't know, like, what was I going to do? And then it also, funny enough, limited to a lot of like what schools I was like kind of trying to apply to. And funny enough, it's like something that I'm just kind of like, even like now it's like learning, it's like certain skills don't necessarily translate to what sometimes can be a great scientist or just a great person specifically for a job that they may be fit for them. You don't need to like have, and what I guess I'm translating to is that you take your classes, and let's say you were in high school, you were the straight A student, you come in and you get that B or you get that C, and it's like you're all of a sudden just like, no, I need this because I need to go to med school, I need to do that. No, don't really let that dissuade you still from like going there, because trust me when I say it, it's that like a lot of them don't look to a lot of the things that you think that are important to them. A lot of them don't look to the field that is, oh, my camera's I guess going a bit wank right now. I apologize, you're seeing a blurry face, but the message is still I'm saying is that don't let that be the thing that dissuades you from doing something. If a school says that it's like they require that you do the GRE, that you do that, still apply. I mean, because the worst that they're going to do is just say no. You never know until you get that email, until you actually put your foot through the door. So always just see what happens. Even if you got that F in like this one class, even if like you didn't like take the GRE, even if you didn't do all that, they are always looking to just see what else did you do outside of that. Like I didn't do that, but guess what? I worked as a tutor at MSU. I did some internships. I did like a bunch of other stuff. Like there are a lot of other things that really should make you important rather than it just being that one little mistake that happened. And always they'll even ask that too, because sometimes it may not have been you. It's like, oh, why did you get that F? Well, because I was just, some personal stuff happened with the family and then it was taking from my time. It's stuff happens, but it shouldn't be something that also to just limit you from what you might think is your future too.
Okay, so I have a question from Nyla that goes to Andrew and Ayesha. She asked, what pushed you to pursue a master's degree, and do you feel that is necessary in today's market? Let's start with Andrew.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what's okay. I'm just gonna hang on a sec. This is okay. I guess congratulations. You see my background. Anyway, so so this is I guess something that Ed also was very curious about, like about what persuaded me into going to my master's, and unironically because I actually had wanted to go to MSU to get my graduate degree. It kind of just persuaded me because my dream actually was to kind of become a professor. I wanted to be a professor in chemistry. And that was one of the requirements that and even when I was there at MSU, it's that like, oh yeah, you will need to like get a graduate degree and you will need to do this, and that. And those were sacrifices I was beginning to make. And then as it was like, it was so when I left John Jay, I kind of left with that mentality that I wanted to do it. Was it necessary? I think it is, but it also isn't. And it kind of will tie into how like it kind of went afterwards when I went through MSU. So I went through, and then I think something that happens, maybe not everyone, but it definitely did happen to me. I just started to get burnt out, where I kind of went from high school straight into John Jay, and then I went straight to MSU. I was doing all the same things again. And I was just starting to get so tired. I was just starting to get tired of school. I was starting to get tired of that I just wanted to take the break. And so I I was talking to my mentor at the time, and it's like she also kind of noticed that because it also was affecting my ability to do research. And I think it's like we came to an agreement, and then I ended up going like for a master's degree. Um, is it something that I think is still important to me? Yeah, but also is it something that is necessary? I don't think it necessarily is always. I would say no, you don't always have to know what you want to do. Maybe if you have an idea, a rough idea of the direction that you want your life to go at, then get some ideas for what might be best for you. But as to whether or not it's required is kind of up to interpretation, because I've also like have like I was when I was looking for the jobs, it's like, and since I didn't end up getting my graduate degree, I kind of realized that yeah, a lot of them really do want that graduate degree, but there were still jobs that were looking for that were still very much like, yeah, we just want people with a scientific background in like as an associate professor or something like that. There are those markets. As for whether or not like it's, I guess it's like I'm kind of making sure that I don't derail too much from Ed's or the question that was asked in chat. But I guess long story short, I would say just it for my master's degree, it wasn't required, but it was something that I still felt personal to me that I got this far and I wanted to at least make something out of this whole experience. And I still did. I wanted to make sure that the work that I did while at MSU didn't just go nowhere. So I tried to end it off with some form of a bang. So yeah.
How about you, Ayesha?
Okay, so for me, I would say to be a data scientist, the master's is not required. I joined before my master's, but for me, John Jay or undergrad or bachelor degree, that didn't give me a core core knowledge of this specific field. That's just the data science. It is overall, right? It is like the computer science and information security is the overall knowledge that I gained from John Jay. So I from that point, like the master's degree attracts me to be more proficient in this field, and for the like a senior post, and for to be more more into this position. Of course, the masters would help me. And when I started to UC Berkeley, I tried to get in the last semester. Remember, Professor, I emailed you like, hey, I need some like recommendation letter and everything. So I didn't get in last semester, but this semester I got in. So it was like kind of, yes, it is like what I want. So though I got rejected in first time, second time I get accepted, and this is the one. This is the number one public university in the United States. So I'm really proud of it, and the curriculum and all those like real life applications projects, those really helping me to get me to gather my knowledge more as a data scientist. And I'm really enjoying. And hopefully, once I finished my graduation, I'll be like I can see me in more renowned position as a data scientist.
Thank you, Ayesha. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that it worked out with UC Berkeley.
Thank you.
Danny, I'm gonna, you are among our panelists, you are purposely took some time off between undergrad and applying to grad school. That was your goal. We've had many conversations about those plans that you have for postgraduate. So what do you think students should be thinking about if they're planning to take some time off in between? What advice would you have for students that are considering doing that?
So applying to med school is one of those things that is not an easy choice to make. You have to think about it carefully. But a couple of things, at least in my case, where I wanted to ask, do I want to rush into this, right? Do I just want to get there because I want to get there? Or do I want to take some time off to get more experience? Luckily, at least in my case, I was blessed with being in a position to learn about different fields and interact it with different fields. So not only MD, PhDs, but PhDs, but also doctors, and to see the whole 9 yards of all their lives. So I felt if I truly wanted to put myself down this path, taking some time off, learning everything about all these fields will help me to make the right choice at the end of the day because it is a commitment and it's a commitment that I don't want to take lightly and then regret later on. And just to answer with the master stuff for any of the pre-health that are here, it's gonna take people off the wrong way, but it truly does depend on what you want. Like for me, not wanting to do a master's, but wanting to just work, right? It you always have to ask yourself, what's the benefit of getting a like why are you putting yourself through more work? If you can get more experience or if you want to learn more about your field, sure. But don't, again, I'll circle back to a couple questions ago. Don't do things to check off a box list. Do them because you like them. I happen to enjoy what I do, regardless of how much work it is. I truly like it. So I feel like if I would have done a master's, I would have been miserable and I would have put too much work and not gained any substantial use. But that's my experience. So it really just depends on what you want to do. And of course, family stuff happens where you have to delay applications and it is what it is. But I hope,
Life happens, and then you graduate, hopefully.
yeah.
Ayesha, I have a couple of questions from Juana. Juana Casey is part of PRISM, the undergraduate research program, and she also works in computer science. So she's majoring in computer science. She had two quick questions for you. The first one was, uh, what sort of transferable skills did you develop going from your degree in cybersecurity to software engineering? And the second question is about remote work. What have you learned on how to connect with your coworkers and colleagues?
All right, thank you so much for your question. So the first one, like how I will go from cybersecurity to software engineer. Okay, that's already I mentioned about the TTP program. That's a boot camp. So it is one of the program at John Jay. That's 6 weeks program that help us to learn web
Was a
development.
program at John Jay, sadly.
Okay, I don't know that is not anymore, but
No,
okay.
I suffered. That one hurt. I took it personally when that program went away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so from that program, that 6 weeks boot camp, as like computer science and information security, we were learning everything like coding, development, web development, and security, cybersecurity, and all those. But those that boot camp program helped me to get the software engineer job because right after the boot camp, I was just fresh, I enough knowledgeable and I took I faced some interviews and one of the company hired me. So yeah, so that time still I was like learning what I really wanna be because computer science is a vast field. Like which part I wanna be I want to see myself. So still that time I was learning. So yeah, for that for that bootcamp program, I got into software engineer but in the meantime, when I was doing my research, undergrad research in the machine learning, artificial intelligence, all those that attracted me most. And I found out, no, I don't want to be a software engineer. I want to be a data scientist. And from that point, I switched to data scientist, and still I'm doing the data science. Data science. So right after though I graduated in 2022, right after I didn't do my masters because that time I didn't know which point, which career or which part of the computer science I'm doing. So in the meantime, when I worked 1 year with the data science with Oasis as a data scientist, I understand, okay, this is my core interest. Then I tried to do my master's, I started to do my master's in data science. And the second question, uh, like what the transfer sorry for the knowledge that helped me to data science, right? So would you please just the second question one? Okay.
The second question was about remote work.
Okay, remote work. Okay, so um, uh, it started in the COVID, right? Like I was working as a peer leader at Lagoria Community College. From there, like that time, I didn't stop working. I was like a student. Besides, I was the peer leader, and I started job. Like I continued my work remotely. So I had that experience and connection. So as a remote job, some important thing that I gathered or like I experienced, those are effective communication and know my responsibilities and always to be up to date with my responsibilities. And of course, there were like a common channel like Slack to communicate with my coworkers. And the Slack means like always there. Any information need, we can connect there, we can ask there. From that point, I never felt that I'm working remotely. I felt okay. I'm working with in the desk with my coworker. Even when I worked at software engineer at Quadrant 2, we started in person at Manhattan Fifth Avenue. But after 6 months, we transferred into remote. So it was easy for me, like those transitions. So I think whoever do remote job, like main important thing has to be like a new reminder, like communication and the responsibility. Because I might I might just take some breaks without doing my work, but everything like the main thing is my job, my responsibility. Once I am fine with my responsibility, so it's fine, perfectly fine. I can do the remote job and collaborate and connection with all my coworkers.
Thank you so much. And before we go, Lesroy, I see you. We're gonna come right to you, but I just wanted to share out the TTP, the tech transfer pipeline program is no longer active at John Jay and through CUNY. And we have various programs here at John Jay that offer internships and hands-on, and CUNY Central Persia has started to develop some new initiatives that are available to all CUNY students. You can find them on their, if you go to academics, on their current initiatives, and you go to academic programs, is it? No, it's not. Hold on, sorry, I got lost now. Academic programs should be under, there you go. Under core initiative, career and industry partnerships, it has all the CUNY Central. These are available to all of you. And not only that, whenever CUNY Central does something, you know that they like to advertise. They send a lot of information on those mass emails that they send with the newsletter. Look, it's our job to do the work, create the programs and set them up. It's your job to apply and get in. I know that we throw a lot of information at you guys. We know this. But imagine if we didn't communicate any of these to you, then you wouldn't have any opportunities. You have to read those emails. You have to open the emails that your department sends you and through CUNY sends you. Dedicate 15 minutes every week to just go through them. Give them an inspection. Doesn't feel right to you, delete it. But maybe you'll find one that will be the right opportunity for you. You never know. Lesroy, go ahead. Ask your question.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lesroy Keynes, and I'm a 27-year retired firefighter. I'm presently at John Jay College. I'm pursuing my degree in fire science, and I'm also majoring in emergency management. Now, as a sophomore, I am currently looking into doing some research in furthering my academic career for my master's in fire protection engineering. Now, doing my research, I've come across some, I don't want to say hurdles, but some information that I need to get done, some additional courses that I need to get done that was not in my pipeline per se. So, for example, I need to get the calculus, or levels of calculus, and two additional areas that I need to get done, but the college do not have them presently. offering, and also the financial barrier as it relates to getting finances for the further careers of the masters. Is there, at this point, I'm going to be truthful and say it's kind of deterring me from pursuing. I know you guys have been through it. What advice could you give to me in order for me to stay on track, stay motivated in this avenue for my career academically?
Well, I think you have here among the panelists, most of them were tutors at the MSRC, so they will be happy to talk to you about how to get academic help, right?
Sure.
Andrew or Danny or Ayesha, whichever of you want to talk about the academic support that we can provide students like Leroy.
Oh yeah, I can definitely, I can advertise, I don't want to make it seem like it's just blatant advertising, but I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, that is one of the definite resources that like, the thing is that like, don't ever feel like it's just, you don't have any resources. It's like, especially if you're just having trouble or it's like, you need to go outside of that. I mean, you're at John Jay and like, it's not like, oh my God, you're just there and you're just paying for the classes. No, you're paying for also like a bunch of other like just facilities and other departments that are there and are just open as well. I mean, you have like the John Jay tutoring department, which I mean, I could be wrong. It's also still open Saturday, Sunday too, or is it that they changed that still?
I'm pretty sure it's still open.
Okay, well, yeah. So even so, they can be able to work with. They're open like super late. I remember leaving there like I think what was it 7? I think I forget what time they. Actually, you can inform me what time they close, but I know they're open. They're open very early. They close super late. They're open weekends. Even also too, if you just kind of had like general questions, it's like I'm sure you're like there are individuals in like Prism as well. It's like that they also just sit down and then sometimes it's like because a lot of the faculty members also it's like either were I mean also were scientists but also some of them even it's like I remember what's it called like I don't know if Derek was still there like Derek Sokolowski but I
No,
definitely
he's no longer here. He's
uh
actually gonna be a panelist on our next Career Connections next month.
very nice yeah so and it was funny enough because I say that and it's because he also was my biochem lab instructor so it just kind of and so it's like there was just a few times where it's just like Derek I don't kind of know what's going on and it's like I don't ever seem that it's like you can't just go also to your professor and it's like be just upfront with them that it's like I have no idea what's going on and because they also don't want to scare you away from what you want to do as well so like I think like some professors definitely it's like may come off approaching it's like especially if it's a very serious subject especially if they don't seem that approachable but sometimes again like as I kind of like talked about before you won't know until you just put your foot through the door and just say I need help and if they also can't or they don't there's that is not the only way you could be able to go through with help it's like you have your you have like other instructors there you have like you also have your peers as well it's like there are a few times I remember it's like we had take home tests and it's like we just formed a little study group and then we were all just like there are parts where it's like I was able to pick up the slack and then I was able to like help with certain parts and other people were better at other parts it's sometimes it is it is definitely I think it is the best way to just describe it is you have so many resources available and if you don't know about them again just like how it is with going to those resources it just starts with the simple question it just starts with that it just starts with that one question that's all it really is.
And I thank you, Andrew, for mentioning faculty member office hours. Office hours for faculty members is not the time that we have to do office work. It's the time that we have to meet with you. So use those office hours. And at John Jay, the Math and Science Research Center, recently renamed the Duane and Lily Kreis Math and Science Research Center, still the MSRC. But they provide tutoring in most 100 and 200 math and science courses. Not only that, they also have access to tutor.com that offers virtual tutoring for many basic classes 24/7. They have the MSRC Plus program, so if you fail a class, you get preference to be able to get tutoring the second time that you try it around. They do one-on-one or group tutoring or workshops depending on the courses. So they have a lot of resources for you guys. And also we have other academic support centers like the Writing Center, the Modern Languages Centers, and our brand new Digital Creation Lab that just opened this fall that you should all take a look into. And then tell me what is it for. I haven't discovered yet what that one does, but the resource is new, it's brand new, and they're loving it. In terms of support, in this day and age of we don't know what the hell's going on with the government, scholarships, particularly if you are at John Jay, just look for John Jay. There's a whole database with every available data scholarship for you. It's searchable. So if you put, you were fire science, all the ones that mentioned only for fire science students or that mention fire science students will pop up there. The other resource that I like, which is for outside of John Jay, is Pathways to STEM. Pathways to Science, not STEM. And this one will have resources K-12 undergrads, grad students, and postdocs. And it will have also summer research experience and summer research programs, portable scholarships, postbac programs, and for graduate students in particularly, they will have fellowships for master students here, which are not the norm. So being able to find them there and having a place to find them will be useful to you. Danny, Ayesha, do you have any other comments, particularly when it comes to looking for academic help?
For me, like the resource, that's the very important because when you are a student, there are a lot of resources other than just academic success. Like just you are going to class, have the test, and get the result, and like graduated. Other than there are a lot of benefits and resources. Just you need to find it out. And I was a program, the SICK program, so that also helped me with the like one-to-one mentorship, one-to-one advising, tutor, all those facilities. So of course, John Jay has there are a lot of opportunities as a student. You can get it once you graduate. Maybe you will not have that all access. So when you are a student, you should find out what resources are available for you and get like use them most as you can. Those are really helpful. Other than just you are taking class, having result. So obviously look for that resources. You'll be success. Like more information with it. Yeah.
Thank you, Isha. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the end because I know that we are in midterm periods and I don't want anyone to be late for class. So last thought, tell me briefly something that you wish you had known about yourself and that you discovered about yourself through this discovery path and this career path. Something that you didn't know when you were an undergrad that, oh, I have this skill or I have this quality that you have discovered and you find that is now fundamental. And let's start with Ayesha.
Not to interrupt real quick, because I see the amount of participants leaving. So I'm gonna send a feedback survey in the chat. So for everyone who attended today, fill it out when you have some time. Listen to the speakers right now, but you can fill that out later. Or if you're about to leave, fill it out right now before class. But sorry for the interruption. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So as a like I wish I knew before like the communication skill and looking for help, asking for help. That was like in the beginning, I like when I came to know about it, I found it is really, really important for someone, especially the student who are in undergrad or grad. Like whatever you need, just go for it, look for it. Other than never I knew that okay, like I have others like friends. We started from same high school, and then I see the difference when I go to individual my interest, for example, tutor, resource, or any resource. When I look for it, I go for it. I had the different outcomes than others. So some student maybe just finished the undergrad, but right after they didn't get the job. But I got my job in my last semester because I went to the TTP. Because when I just came to know the TTP, I just wanted to, like 1 year ago, I get prepared myself to get into there. Also about the Prism, when I just came to know about this, I wanted to get in like this program. So obviously, like you have to know what you're looking for and you have to go for the right direction and you will be successful. So yeah, the communication skill, I would say that I really like got more.
Thank you, Ayesha. Andrew?
I guess, I mean, communication, I think, is also a very strong skill similarly. I would say probably not one that it's one that I did have, but one that it's like, it kind of like just seems like it was a skill that's just been, I guess, something that has just been a very running skill that it's like something that I do know about. Sometimes I'll execute it, sometimes I didn't, but I wish it was something that had been always ingrained in me that it's like I would stay as fixed, especially as early on, is just knowing really like, and I guess this is also something that Danny also kind of talked about earlier, but just knowing more about you. Like sometimes you're gonna hear from a lot of people. I mean, you could take what we talked about, you could take what Danny, Ayesha, and what Ed will keep talking about for the next several years. But at the end of the day, the only person that knows you best is you. If genuinely you're not getting any enjoyment, genuinely, if you want to push yourself more, the only person that's going to know this at the most at the end of the day is you. So I think it's just really something that was important that I guess it was something that like, I definitely think that it's like, it was this mentality that always it was just, oh, you should definitely try to go for grad school. Oh, you should definitely do this. It's what led me to go into graduate school, and then it's what led me to kind of just burn out. And sometimes I think it's important just to sometimes just know that maybe you don't have to always just listen to sometimes what that person says. I'm not saying always completely ignore them. Don't necessarily like, oh, if your professor tells you you need to study this, it's going to be on the exam tonight. Don't just say, oh, well, I'm not going to study that then. But definitely like take what we say, and then definitely you could definitely listen to all the parts. You can listen to none of them, but I think we just all hope that you just kind of have a better understanding of what you want to do. Maybe you'll do all the things that we want you to do. Maybe we won't, at which case, I'm sorry, Ed. But I guess it's just, we hope that it just helps you understand your journey better at John Jay, especially since that those 4 years are gonna, or I don't know how, like some people, if you're sophomore, junior, senior, that time is just gonna fly just like that.
How about
And
you, Danny? Oh,
yeah. Oh no. Yep. I pretty much that was it. Yeah.
Oh, I think uh leadership skills and developing it through my undergraduate years is something that I really learned about myself, that I can be a leader. And it's important because as you grow in your career, more responsibilities get put on your shoulders. And as you increase, people want your mentorship and look up to you. And just being a leader, not just in the classroom, but just around where people can come to you and they have trust in you. And that's what I think being a leader is. And that's something that I discovered throughout my years as an undergrad, especially again, like with Ed working on building a pre-health program or being a leader in the lab, transitioning to what I'm doing now, just being a leader, teaching undergrads. I have undergrads sometimes in my lab where I'm teaching them and I'm responsible for them. And leadership not only is like with others, but with your job, taking initiative. That's something that I also found that I'm really good at doing, just taking initiative, not being scared. So those are things that you should also be comfortable in doing, taking initiative, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and leading not just people, but yourself to better places.
Well, I want to thank our speakers, Ayesha, Danny, and Andrew. Thank you much for sharing your experience. And I also want to plug our next one on the series of Career Connections, which is going to happen next month on November 10. And the topic is John Jay STEM alumni pursuing careers different from their majors. As we talked to Ayesha, Danny, and Andrew, their path varied a little, but there's from when they began their undergraduate to what they finished. These three alumni are doing things that are very different from the plans that they had when they graduated. So there's of course some shift that you do as you grow, but they have responded to the job market out there, which there's nothing guaranteed in life except taxes, debt and taxes. So they were able to leverage their training in science to pursue careers in product management, in data management for nonprofits, and also as an manager for law firms. And I've been talking to them. They're really excited to come back and talk to you about what they have learned and how you too should be able to potentially prepare for the future, because right now you don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen next month. With that said, I want to thank everyone for attending this event, and I look forward to keep seeing you. And Danny, Ayesha, and Andrew, thank you so much again for your time, and also for those of you who volunteer to be part of our alumni mentoring network. I know that we're going to start working with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.